Horizon Forbidden West is coming to the PS4 and PS5 next year, and today we have a few new details to share. We may have spoken about some of these points in a previous video, but since then, even more information has been revealed, so we have further expanded on those points. So without further ado, here are 5 new things you need to know about Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West has other returning characters and brand new companions. When Horizon Forbidden West was showcased, many were surprised to see Erend from the first game making a return. Speaking to Game Informer, narrative director Benjamin McCaw said there will be other characters returning along with some brand new companions as well, saying, quote, "You will absolutely see more returning characters, and you will meet some new companions that I think players are really going to enjoy," end of quote. McCaw also said that the team wanted to allow Aloy to spend more time with her companions, both in the main story and side quests. Quote, "This is something that we thought a lot about after the last game came out. One of the things we wanted to do was really increase the amount of time that Aloy spends with her companions. This is true on the main quest, as Aloy ventures into the Forbidden West. It's also true of the side quests. What we really wanted was a lot more face time. We wanted people to grow that emotional attachment that they had with their companions. That's been a major focus of development for us on the story side and the quest design side." End of quote. Of course, for the time being, these companions can't be revealed. As for why Erend in particular was brought back, McCaw said, quote, "I mean, why wouldn't you bring back Erend?" End of quote. Noted to be a favorite for both fans and the writing team, Erend is described as fun, even though his behavior makes a lot of pain. That's something that makes him very entertaining. He also fulfills a, quote, "very specific role in the story," and helps provide ties to Aloy's past, to sort of make sure that she's the same person and comes alive in the same way, end of quote. With regards to the world design, players can expect several iconic American landmarks and many more locations to explore. There will be a variety of terrain and climate types, including some cold places for those who enjoyed the Frozen Wilds expansion. Horizon Forbidden West features greatly expanded melee combat, new workbench for upgrades, along with a host of other new details. Guerrilla Games also discussed the revamped melee combat in Horizon Forbidden West, with the skill tree being completely overhauled to accommodate different kinds of playstyles. Melee-focused builds will now have more chances to shine, as revealed by game director Mathis de Jong in an interview with Game Informer. Melee combat has been greatly expanded, and different combos can be unlocked from the skill tree. Each combo has a unique purpose. The one that was showcased doled out multiple hits, with one dealing exceptional damage. There's another called Resonator Blast, where attacking a foe will build up a charge. In the Spear, upon fully charging, it can be pasted onto an enemy and targeted to explode, causing massive damage, which makes it ideal for larger foes. The Workbench is a new addition to the experience, with the weapon and armor upgrade system seeing some changes. It will be present in various settlements. Upon acquiring different resources from animals, plants, and machines, you can upgrade Aloy's gear. Upgrades are done over multiple steps for improved attributes and damage, but instead of slotting mods, this time players will unlock new skills and damage or ammo types. This gives a bit of a Monster Hunter-esque vibe to the system, though we'll need to see it in more detail. Free climbing, world size, and more revealed. As if all the new details on Horizon Forbidden West weren't enough, Guerrilla Games has also discussed mechanics like free climbing. During the gameplay showcase, Aloy used the focus ability quickly to locate spots that could be used for climbing. However, in practice, she's capable of climbing almost any surface. Game director Mathis de Jong revealed to IGN that, quote, "In terms of the traversal and the human combat, there was a point from Horizon Zero Dawn where we wanted to improve the mechanics, to show you can now free climb anywhere in the world. We hand-annotated lots of the rocks, the cliffs, the mountainsides, but at some point we changed that to an automatic system that just detects if there's a latch somewhere in the geometry. So now the entire world, everything is automatically annotated. This means you can climb anywhere," end of quote. Of course, it will be limited in settlements. Quote, "There is more hand-placed controlled exploration going on there, but outside of the settlements, in the open world, you can climb anywhere," end of quote. He also said that the quick focus highlighting spots to climb doesn't necessarily mean those are the only ones. Quote, "I think some people think that you have to use the focus to be able to climb, but that's not true. This is just for light, for low light conditions, to be able to highlight them so you can actually see them better, but the player could climb anyway without having to ping." End of quote. Speaking about the world design, Horizon Forbidden West has a bigger world than its predecessor, and while the true scale wasn't revealed, there's more of an emphasis on packing it full of content. Quote, "The map is a little bit bigger, but in general, we've really looked at increasing the density and adding more content, making sure there's a lot more to do for the player across the map, and then making that content also engaging by telling little micro stories." End of quote. New underwater exploration is also a key part of the game's appeal. Narrative director Benjamin McCaw said, quote, "Exploration is really the theme, and it's not enough for us to just show underwater. We wanted to make sure that it's every bit as beautiful as what you see in the natural world above it. But it wasn't just enough that you could swim around underwater. We wanted to do some things that are really surprising and interesting. And I think that's where some of the story stuff comes in, and we just absolutely can't wait for players to see what they're going to experience." End of quote. Horizon Forbidden West has some destructible environments, but not full-scale destructibility. With improved traversal mechanics, better melee combat, a completely redesigned skill tree, and more, Horizon Forbidden West is shaping up to be quite the sequel, as it looks to build on the solid foundation laid down by its predecessor. We got to see many of these improvements in action during the game's gameplay deep dive, and one thing that was hard to not notice was the destructibility of various objects in the environment when Aloy took on a tremor tusk. So, does this mean the sequel is putting a bigger focus on destructible environments? Well, yes and no. Hardware Zone posed the question to game director Matthias de Jong in a recent interview, who explained that though there is some destructibility in the world, the game isn't going for full-scale destructibility. Things such as rocks, trees, and small ruins can be destroyed during combat, but don't go in expecting a world that you can completely dismantle from top to bottom. "This is what we call a set piece," de Jong said, speaking about the Tremor Tusk fight in the recent gameplay debut. Quote, "And we have quite a few of those scattered around the game throughout the open world, in quests and certain scenarios. We also have destructibility in terms of trees and rocks and other smaller ruins, so yes, absolutely, there's more destructibility throughout the game, but this is a really big world, so we're not going for full-scale destructibility. That's not what the game is about. We do have places to show off how powerful the machines are, where they can crash through trees or through walls. However, it's not like the entire world can be destroyed." End of quote. Horizon Forbidden West's DualSense features, Pullcaster, and new enemy tactics detailed. New details from Guerrilla Games' Horizon Forbidden West have been revealed via the PlayStation blog. The development team hasn't outlined the new skill tree that Aloy will experiment with, aside from it having additional tracks and skills, which synergize with those that are either already present on outfits or need to be unlocked on them. But it did provide a lot of other interesting new bits of information. The DualSense controller, for instance, will see its adaptive trigger pop when reaching maximum draw with a bow. There's also the absence of adaptive tension to convey when one is out of ammo. Other sensations include the scrape of rubble as you push a crate, to the sensation of an unraveling winch as you push the pullcaster, with the increased adaptive trigger tension as you pull. Additional tactile dimensions, like the grass brushing against Aloy as she sneaks about, can also be expected. We already know about the pullcaster, which functions as a grappling hook and allows the player to launch into the air. However, it can also dynamically manipulate, move, and destroy the objects in the environments. So if you see a loot chest hidden on a ledge or need to tear a vent off to climb, the pullcaster will come in handy. As for Valor Surges, which were seen in the last gameplay trailer, there are 12 confirmed. These can be unlocked through the skill tree, and each has 3 levels of charge, with the highest taking longer to charge but delivering more damage. For all these different techniques that Aloy can employ, her enemies are also becoming smarter and more resourceful. This time around, you'll encounter enemy factions that can mount machines. Lead combat designer Dennis Zopfi notes, quote, "In Horizon Zero Dawn, machine and humanoid encounters were very separate. They were really operated as a group against Aloy. The world has changed in Horizon Forbidden West, with more danger, more enemy factions, and more machines, and they can now fight together in groups, which poses a real challenge for our hero and the player. When it comes to mounted combat, the player will have to adapt and decide whom to take out first and in what most effective way. Human enemies have weapons, attacks, and abilities that machines don't, and vice versa, so they complement each other in these encounters, keeping you on your toes. Finally, along with the hunter bow, sharp shot bow, and blast sling returning, the player also has a new weapon, the spike thrower. This is described as a high damage weapon, which makes it easier to hit larger targets when thrown at the right moment. Different perks, weapon coil slots, and ammo types can be expected for each weapon. That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on Gaming Bolt.